You've got it tuned to KEXP. We're listener-powered radio at 90.3 FM in Seattle, streaming worldwide at kexp.org. I'm Cheryl Waters down here in the KEXP studios with, not to embarrass you all, but one of my favorite bands in all of the world. It's Wolf Parade. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
So great always to see you.
Thanks for having us back.
Yeah.
Even more fun to see you and have you play live music. What do you got coming up for us here?
We have a melange.
Ooh.
We're going to do a melange.
All right. It's Wolf Parade live on KEXP. Take it away. I'm in my happy place right now. It's Wolf Parade live on KEXP.
All right.
Julian, take your man home. He's just sitting at the bar, carving shapes that look like dicks into the wood. Julian, take your man home. He keeps running in and out of the street with the weed between his teeth. He
that one stayed on just by a hair.
Just gonna tune up. Just by a hair, yes.
By your hair.
By my hair.
There's lots of it right now.
I know. It's a pandemic growth.
We've known you for a long time. We've seen you through a lot of different hairstyles.
Yeah.
Dan and I just switched hairstyles.
Yeah, we realized that we were looking at photos of the last tour that we did before the pandemic, and our hair was exactly the same length, just on
The other
heads.
one's head. We just mailed our hair back and forth to each other
Yeah.
over the pandemic.
The way that people send digital files back and forth now.
Exactly.
Dan's wearing my hair, and
I am. It's lustrous Spencer hair. All right, shall we? Yeah.
In this house, there's no order. There's no loss of love out here, babe. If it's over, I know I've called out to you. Something is haunting these four walls, and baby, you know it's true. And I will crawl right back to you. Under the swollen summer sky, will be there soon. I've been told, new fast days. There's no room to breathe, darling, don't think twice. We'll be there soon. Soon. And all that's in the mind, sugar, I won't let me free. All that's in the mind, sugar, I won't let
And the crowd goes wild.
I'm sweating so hard already.
Yeah, me too. Wear the leather jacket, I thought. It'll look cool, I thought.
It does look cool.
Yeah. But at what cost, Cheryl?
You good? Last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Said he hate the sound of the buses on the ground. Said he hate the way they scrape their bricks all over town. I said pretend it's Wales, keeping their voices down. Such worthy grounds for divorce, I know. Such worthy grounds for divorce, I know. I look like a newlywed.
Wolf Parade live on KEXP, sweating and hair tangling and thank you so much for that great performance.
Thank you. Last note. They fell off at the last note.
That was super, super fun. It's just so great always to see you and hear you play. It's been my absolute delight to have had Wolf Parade in studio so many times. You've done so many fun things for us, and you're definitely one of the top 10 artists of all time that we featured on KEXP. And we were only first starting up our live video program when the band was in its early days. So then you took a hiatus, and it wasn't till 2016 when you reformed that we got back a chance to have you in studio. And then we've certainly made up for lost time since then. But looking back on your first KEXP in studio sessions, do you remember what that experience was like, knowing that you were playing for a station, an independent radio station that loved you so much and championed your music?
Well, I do remember one detail about it, which was one of the members of the band did not know that it was live. So, yeah.
That happens quite often, actually. That's one of the things that makes KEXP so special. Most radio doesn't do the live sessions, and we started doing that a long time ago because we were just, working with a minimal amount of resources, and so it saved production resources to do it live. And what we discovered over the years is that you just get this really special kind of electric energy that you don't get with a taped performance.
Well, because knowing you're live is way more terrifying. So I think what happens is that terror gets channeled into like a more energetic performance, like hopefully.
Yeah, it's not a sterile environment.
I've always been like extremely nervous anytime we've been live on here, but have managed to just like put it into the keys in my voice, and I think, makes for a different kind of more energetic performance, hopefully.
And that was an unexpected, side effect from the necessity of having to do them live, and all your performances sound so fun. And I think, Spencer, you're right. You can really hear and feel.
You can hear how scared we are.
Yeah, you can hear the terror. I mean, I feel like KEXP works for bands like us because we are, as much as I stand behind the records we've made, like I think to get the real experience of the band, you have to come to the shows. Because we never really play anything the same way twice, and that's just there's something about this band on stage that's I think a more pure experience, and you can do that with a live session.
I want
You
to
can
talk
kind of capture that.
I do want to talk about you being on stage, and you took a little break and as you've said, you weren't actually really sure if the band would come back together, so you called it a hiatus, but your thought was that you wouldn't necessarily at the time anyway. And when you came back together and started playing, it really just came from a place of wanting to have fun, and you didn't know what is to expect, and you didn't know what those sessions would be like, and you were just seeing what would come out of them. And I am curious to know how it was different from the past and how it was the same. It's been like 8 years now. It's so funny to think of talking about like you taking a break and you coming back. But I mean, how does it feel different right now, from those early days? You've grown up, and we were just talking before you came live about how you, created space in your tour for a day just to be civilized and have a break and enjoy time together. You have legions of fans who are so happy that you're still doing this. And what makes you happy now about still doing it when there was maybe a time when you thought you might not continue?
I think just as we all have gotten older, things like making the tours enjoy, like making sure there's days off to go hang out at the beach or stuff like that is definitely part of it. We're more grateful than ever for the fan base that we have, and knowing that we can just go out and play shows kind of at the drop of the hat, and some people will show up. And sort of, I think more than ever, we're like satisfied of being at that level, like grateful to have this sort of, to have plateaued at this very comfortable space. And that, none of that was present the first time around. We were just kind of insane.
It was just chaos.
Everything was turbo mode in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because we were like 20-something kids,
Yeah. The post-hiatus has gone through like a couple phases too. There was like pre-Cry, where we were just trying to figure out how to be a band again. And then the Cry album cycle. And then Dante left the band, so it was kind of like Thin Mind was like a return to the original three-piece. And that tour was, it was a little grueling at times, but just getting back to that was so good. And then COVID just kind of was a brick wall. So
Yeah. So then we took another break with COVID.
Yeah.
Because like my kid was born too, and all these things happened at once. It was like, okay, it'll take another couple of years. And I think that, again, was another break wherein we didn't exactly know in what way the band would reform or when. But we just keep coming. I just can't quit, you guys. So we just keep coming back to it.
Well, like Spencer said about the fan, like sort of, appreciating, we've always appreciated the people who've supported our ridiculous band, but yeah, really, really understanding sort of how that community supports us and other bands, and how things like KEXP are a part of that. They're just sort of a more material, tangible music infrastructure than what was sort of building up pre-pandemic, which is this, just the intangible world of socials and just like festivals that are too big to fail or whatever. But the real meat and potatoes of like music fandom is in stuff like KEXP and like cultivating like a real fan base who will show up at a physical venue and buy tickets, and
It's such an honor for us to work with bands like you who we can bring close to our fans. I mean, you've not only done these in-studio sessions, which, the fans are so excited to see live sessions of bands that they love, but you've played our concerts at the Mural. You did a VIP donor session, an intimate set for our KEXP listeners. We were there at the Sub Pop 30th anniversary party taking video of that session, and you've played out in our gathering space. So I do really love how much you value your fans and how KEXP can help bring you together, with these legions of fans. I mean, there's just something magical when this group gets together. Actually, it makes me want to ask, I don't know if it's an urban myth, but I have a memory of the band actually initially forming. Spencer, is it true that you had got asked to open for Arcade Fire and you just said yes and you didn't have a band to play? That's the urban myth that goes around. So
Dan and I had some songs. We knew we wanted to start a band.
it was possibly two bands at one point, I think.
Yeah, maybe there was one band where Dan was going to sing and I was going to play keyboards and I was going to. We were writing some songs, and I can't remember if it was Arcade Fire. I think so. We got asked to open for someone.
It was a band called Melangalia.
Okay, so there
we
you
were
go.
a Belgian Stereo Lab style band,
Yeah.
and Arcade Fire was. I think we were first of three. Arcade Fire was second of three.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And we all met that night.
And so we just knew that we wanted to start a band. I had literally never met Arlen, and we got asked to do the show and just sort of said yes to sort of light the fire under our asses, so to speak. And then Dan was like, well, I know this guy Arlen who plays drums from Victoria. And Arlen practiced, I think, just for about 4 hours.
I think it was 2 practices.
Yeah,
Maybe.
at your old apartment.
No, I think it was at Spencer's loft. Before you lived there, it was just Jeremiah's.
Yeah. There's Montreal loft where we were allowed to make some noise, and we put about 5 or 6 songs together in a real hurry. So yeah, that's the story.
Yeah,
But it was like, we got a show on Friday or Saturday, and we're gonna practice Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
You want in, and it was like, sure,
Then I
I hadn't met Arlen until like the jam room, and it was like, oh, okay, here we go.
And it just clicked. It's like, I don't know. I kind of got the backstory, too, for that, I guess, Arcade Fire at that show. They had just had a lot of the band quit, like, en masse. Like, they had a very different lineup. So that version of Arcade Fire was extremely acoustic. And
I think Regine was the drummer.
Regine was the drummer.
It was just Regine drumming on at that show.
Yeah, and I think that was, it was kind of like a watershed moment. Like, we realized we could play a show. I was talking to Wayne recently, and he was like, that show lit a fire under their ass to, like, kind of become more of a rock band. And,
Well, and come full circle, and you're playing with Arcade Fire.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Well, there's definitely some magic when this band comes together, and you've been with Sub Pop for your entire musical journey, and you were based out of Montreal for a long time, but we think of you as being from the Pacific Northwest, just north of the border here, so we definitely adopt you as a local band. But what does the Northwest and the city of Seattle mean to you as artists?
I don't know. I mean, I could barely speak on that. Like, I grew up on Vancouver Island where, Spence and Arlen live now. And as a teenager, you sort of start listening to stuff that people recommend to you, and you listen to, for instance, I was listening to, like, the Pixies and Metallica and Dinosaur Jr. and Husker Du, and all these bands seem, so far away, like East Coast, or the center of America. But then once I started getting into Sub Pop, I felt like kind of a regional pride around the Pacific Northwest. I just felt like, not with the bigger bands, but with stuff like even Unwound, for instance, or from Tumwater. Like when I heard that band, I know they're not on Sub Pop, but when I heard that band, I was like, oh, it's possible to make really good music and be from here, be from this part of the world.
And then you proceeded to do that. Well, it's always, again, I'm saying this now for the 20th time, so great to see you. And thank you for reworking some of these old faves for us. It must keep it fun for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love playing these songs, and we've never recorded any of them, I don't think we've recorded any of the Apology stuff for KEXP, so this is sweet.
Well, thank you again for coming by, and I can't wait to see you again.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
We want to thank all of our donors for supporting great sessions like this here on KEXP. You can go to our YouTube channel and discover so much great live music, and you can subscribe to it, in fact, and get notifications every time we launch a new video. This one will be coming soon. Thank you so much. It's Wolf Parade Live on KEXP.